What if I told you that the biggest reason you are still stuck is not your lack of talent, not your money, not your background, but a silent story running inside your head that you never questioned? A story that whispers you are not ready, not smart enough, not lucky enough, and every time you try to move forward, that voice pulls you back. Today, I want you to listen carefully, because this might be the moment you finally see that voice for what it really is. And if this message hits you even once, take 2 seconds right now, like this video and subscribe to Mindforge, because this channel is built for people who are done living small and ready to rebuild their mindset from the inside out. There was a young man named Daniel who believed he was average. In school, he was never the top student. At work, he was always the reliable one, but never the leader. He grew up hearing things like, "Be realistic, stay in your lane, people like us do not dream too big." Not in reality. But every morning, Daniel woke up with quiet frustration. He watched other people start businesses. He would feel motivated for a moment, and slowly, he would shrink back into comfort. Your brain is not designed to make you successful. Safe means familiar. That is why growth feels uncomfortable. Your brain treats uncertainty like danger. And if you do not understand this, you will always mistake fear for a sign to stop. One day, Daniel applied for a promotion at work. If he got the promotion, he would have to become someone new, someone more visible. He did not get the promotion, another person did. That night, Daniel felt broken. He sat alone in his apartment, replaying every mistake he thought he made. This is where most people quit. This is where they say, "See, I knew I was not good enough, but something different." What if the problem is not my ability, but my belief about my ability? Psychologists call it self-concept, the image you carry about yourself. If you see yourself as average, you will unconsciously perform at an average level. It is about identity. Daniel Small. He did not try to become confident overnight. He did something smarter. He started collecting evidence. Every day he wrote down one thing he did well. It could be small. Finished a task on time. Spoke clearly in a meeting. Went to the gym even when tired. At first it felt useless. But over weeks, something shifted. Here is the educational part most people ignore. Confidence is not built by hype. It is built by evidence. You cannot think your way into belief. You act your way into belief. Action creates proof. Proof creates confidence. Confidence creates bigger action. That is the cycle of growth. Past. But he was not desperate. He prepared differently. He practiced speaking in front of a mirror. He studied leadership skills. He asked for feedback instead of avoiding it. And when the interview day came, he felt fear again. But he understood it. Fear was not a stop sign. It was a signal that he was expanding. The real victory was that Daniel no longer saw himself as average. He realized that most limits were mental contracts he signed without reading. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Some of you watching right now are addicted to your own excuses. Not because you are lazy, but because excuses protect your identity. If you never try fully, you never risk proving yourself wrong. Staying small feels safe, but safe slowly turns into regret. There is a psychological law called cognitive dissonance. Most people solve this tension by lowering their goals. He decided that if he wants a new life, he must become a new person. But because he wanted discipline, he started reading daily. Not because he enjoyed every page. He surrounded himself with people who challenged him instead of people who comforted him. Slowly his environment changed. And when your environment changes, your behavior follows. There were setbacks, of course there were. He made mistakes in his new role. He embarrassed himself in meetings. He doubted himself again. Growth is not a straight line. That shift in language matters more than you think. Words shape perception. Perception shapes action. Action shapes results. If you are still watching at this point, I want you to pause and think. Who told you that you are not leadership material? Who decided you are bad at business? Who convinced you that your past defines your future? Most of the time, it was not even you. This is why Mindforge exists. Not to motivate you for 5 minutes, but to challenge the stories you carry. Because when you change the story, you change the direction of your life. He mentored a new employee who reminded him of his old self. Instead of giving generic advice, he shared his process. And as he spoke, he realized he was no longer the same person who once sat alone feeling defeated. Success did not come from luck. It came from psychological awareness, from understanding how the mind works instead of being controlled by it. You see, education is not only about degrees, how beliefs are built, how trauma can shape ambition. When you understand these patterns, you stop blaming yourself blindly. You start adjusting strategically. Maybe you did not grow up with support. Maybe you failed before. Maybe you are behind others your age. That does not make you incapable. It just means your starting point is different. And starting points do not determine finish lines. The most dangerous lie in modern culture is that success should feel natural. It does not. It feels awkward. It feels heavy. Because growth requires you to operate at a level you have never operated before. Daniel kept building, and consistency beats intensity every time. A single workout will not transform your body. A single video will not transform your mind. But daily effort compounds. Look at your life honestly. Where are you waiting to feel ready? Where are you asking for permission? Where are you shrinking to fit other people's comfort? You do not need more motivation. You need a new identity. Do not announce it. Do not post about it. Just build quietly. Years later, Daniel was asked to speak at a company event. Standing on that stage, he remembered the version of himself who was afraid to apply for a promotion, not because he was perfect, but because he proved his old story wrong. Your mind can be your prison or your power. It depends on whether you question it. Drop a comment. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it but is too afraid to admit it. Conversations create clarity, and clarity creates change. And if you are serious about upgrading your mindset, stay connected with Mindforge. This is not about quick hype, the kind that reshapes how you see yourself and how the world responds to you. Remember this: the moment you decide to outgrow that identity, your life begins to shift. Slowly at first, it loses its power. Your future is waiting for a stronger version of you.